Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 260th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're asking a really interesting question, which is, have you ever become unhinged? Before we dive deep into this subject, a couple of things to go over. Make sure you've gone to WokeNFree.com to download this episode. We not only want you to listen to it, but we want you to download the episode. And you can do that through the Podbean app, which also would allow you to be able to add comments. And that's how you join in the WokeNFree Wednesday conversation. Now, if you can't download another app on whatever device you listen to podcasts on, then make sure you at least go to WokeNFree.com and you pick your platform of choice to listen and follow and subscribe to the show ad. So iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify. It's a WokeNFree world, y'all. So get on with it. Also on WokeNFree.com, if you haven't already, please subscribe to follow the show. And on social media, you'll always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then if you do have 90 seconds, which y'all do, it's COVID, stop playing. Please go to the listen tab on WokeNFree.com and pick your platform of choice where you want to review the show at. So anytime we get reviews, like 5-star reviews, hello, thank you. It's amazing. And with that, I'm going to kick it back to you, Khalil.
All right. I'll take over then. And before we start this conversation, we'd like to share a little bit about ourselves. This week, we're asking, would you rather break a bone in your foot or your hand?
Was this like Halloween oriented or something?
No, these are just random questions that
bizarre.
people want to know.
That's super bizarre. And so the answer to that is definitely my foot.
Wow,
I need my
definitely.
hands for work. And as much as I do exercise and move my hips that don't lie, I would be distraught without both of my hands. And you?
And me, I would just do the foot as well. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not a soccer star, so I don't need to actually use the foot to do athletic things. And then also, this is not the apocalypse, so I don't have to worry about trying to run from things trying to get me.
Zombies and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it's easy for me to just go with the foot. And the foot is connected to the ankle, which is a sort of hinge, right? Your foot pivots around that hinge. But what does it mean to become unhinged?
Amazing transition. So if you saw the recent film Unhinged with the one and only Russell Crowe, which is the moving motivation for today's episode or this week's episode, is that, you know what it means to be unhinged when you watch this film. I mean, we're talking about releasing the Kraken, y'all. We're talking about letting anger take a hold of you to the point where you could not only harm yourself, but you could harm others. And if you watch this movie, which we totally recommend that you do, it will define the word in a whole new way for you. But how would you define what it means to be unhinged?
I just think of it when you lose touch with reality.
Damn.
So it reminds me of a movie called Falling Down, where the man he lost it for that day. He's sitting in traffic.
Michael Douglas, yes.
Yeah, and it was a bad day for him. So the Unhinged movie seems like an updated take on that.
Absolutely.
But it's a little more gruesome, I would say.
That's one of my dad's
They go a little bit further.
Movies. Yeah, he showed me that. In the 90s, I think that movie came out. And Falling Down is a crazy film about being unhinged. Yeah. 1,000%. Now, big question of the episode. Have you ever become unhinged?
No, it's actually, as you know, extremely hard to get me angry. So
Lies.
I've never gone off my rocker.
Lies, a fairy tale.
That's one of the things that you used to talk to me about. You said, man, you never get angry.
Oh, so now you do though, right?
No, not now I do, but it's like you don't tell me stuff we already know. But when you first learned about it, you were amazed. You're like, wow,
okay.
You're cool, calm, and collected.
Those are the words that came out of my mouth.
it's to some degree. It was something like that. I'm summarizing what you said. But you looked at me.
The essence of what was said.
And it's one thing that made you proud. You're like, my husband, he never would become unhinged. That's just how you think of me.
Remember, this is WokeNFree, so we have to be honest.
Yeah, but this is my honest opinion of what I think you think of me.
Your honest interpretation.
Because you know I don't get angry. You love that. Now, I can't say the same about a lover of mine, but...
Oh, I wonder who you're referring to.
Okay.
But good luck for her.
We're not going there. We are not going there.
Okay, so to answer the question on my behalf, since you are totally evading it for yourself.
I didn't evade. I said it already. I answered it directly.
Your perception of reality, then, I guess.
No, there's no perception. It's the truth. You like that. That's one of the traits that you notice. I like your
lies and fairy tales.
It's the trait that you noticed in me first. You know it's true too. I don't know why you don't want to admit the truth.
You get angry. I would say you've never been unhinged. Now to say I
get angry, even that's insane.
Everyone gets angry, Khalil.
I mean, I don't turn into the Hulk. What the heck is this?
No, I do. But you've gotten angered.
Maybe sadness is the better
lies and fairy tales.
Yeah, like my anger would be exhibited as sadness. That's what I feel.
I'm gonna keep it moving on this train.
Okay, if you say
so. Have I been angry in life? Of course. Don't laugh. We're from New York, and boy. If you know anything about New York, you know that it is a very interesting arena to live and grow up in. And have I ever acted like Russell Crowe in Unhinged? Absolutely not. And I never would. I value human life a bit too much to ever do that. But there was one really unfortunate time that I do have to bring up on the episode, and I think people will hopefully enjoy it. So please chime in the storytelling piece of this now, which is there was a time where we were driving. I don't know why we were driving to the mall, right? But we were driving to the mall for something.
I don't know why. We
was it just to go shopping or so it was one of our
just
rituals outing. Yeah. And there was one time where there was excessive traffic, which is fairly common for Long Island and New York generally. And for some reason, though, I was so upset about the traffic to the point where, and I'm the passenger, just so everyone understands the picture. I'm in the passenger seat. Khalil is driving. There's a lot of traffic, and I'm just so frustrated and angered by the traffic that I start to essentially start verbalizing my anger.
Yeah.
And I'm so I feel like probably about to blow my top. And I started, I don't know what was I screaming?
Well, you screamed, move already.
Move already. And unfortunately, there was a biker nearby who I guess thought for some reason, because I was so enraged and unhinged in that moment, that he thought that I was driving the vehicle, even though I was in the passenger seat. And he turned to us, and what did he proceed to do, Khalil?
He stuck up his hand and he said, "Wait!" He was really terrified too. He thought that was the last moments of his life. Yeah, he was shook to the bone.
Yeah.
It was nuts. He thought that was it. There was so much terror in his eyes. I couldn't believe it.
I've never seen someone so scared
that was
in
so
my
funny.
life. And I
couldn't believe that happened.
I feel so ashamed. Because A, I was not in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And B, there was no reason for me to be so unhinged with traffic at that moment.
Yeah,
for some reason, I had lost my rocket. I had lost touch with reality.
Well, you have short temper for any type of traffic.
Correct. New York was not a healthy place for my mental state when it came to driving or traffic. So, thankfully we have since moved from New York. Over 2 years we've been in Arizona, and it's been a beautiful, blissful, much less painfully angered lived experience than it was in New York, but and we've long left those types of moments of craziness and unhingedness. But that was one, I think, moment. Would you agree that I was completely unhinged?
Yeah, I think you were unhinged, and the cyclist thought you were unhinged as well.
Yeah.
That's what I could say. Because they thought that was coming for them. They thought this car was going to hit them.
I know. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry,
I'm not
sir.
sure.
If you
that was
so
crazy.
Sorry, sir. But, I guess what would you say has been the biggest lessons learned from experiencing either unhinged moments of yourself, if you claim none for yourself, then from others, or even from content like the movie Unhinged that we watch?
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna go from the movie we watched, just because I don't have my unhinged moments at all. So the things I learned are an angered person can play mind tricks on you, and you better just be aware of that, because they could really get to you and make you start slipping up.
Yep.
I'd say you always need to be able to pinpoint your loved ones. I knew that before, but man, in this movie, it would have definitely helped out just to know where everybody was at every moment.
Yeah.
Then a good one, and people need to take this advice. to heart is that people without passwords on their tablets or phones, they can have bad experiences.
That's a shame. Yeah.
This is a true statement. And
Correct.
Please think about this when you have your electronic devices just laying around.
Yep.
And the last thing is that your kids should be able to track your location as well.
Absolutely.
So they should know where you are.
Wonderful point. So I have learned from myself and others in my life that have been unhinged, and there have been others in my life. I won't dry snitch them, but we know who, you know who I'm referring to. And anger is something that you allow to fester in your mind and body. Nobody can make you feel anything. So please keep it woke and free, and please understand nobody is making you unhinge. You are unhinging yourself. First and foremost, no matter how irritating or frustrating a situation is, you allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and to act the way that you act. And getting angry doesn't make life better, nor does it make it feel good or better. You know, it's not like I've ever experienced a time where I've gotten really angry or even unhinged and said, you know, this made the day so much better now that I've exploded. Like it's just good, yeah. Never to be said by anyone. So just keep that in mind. And also I take this in my personal and professional life, which is every problem has a born solution. So try remaining in a solution-oriented state of mind is always going to reduce the chances of you popping off and getting irate and unfortunately even unhinged.
Okay. Those are good lessons to take to heart.
Yes.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. Yasser was sitting in traffic for 3 hours and got a message on his work phone. The message was from his boss. It said, "I'm sorry to inform you, but we had to downsize our department, and unfortunately we had to let you go. You will receive details of your severance package in the forthcoming days." The man proceeds to exit his vehicle and goes to a park where a mugger tries to take his belongings. Would it make sense if Yasser became unhinged at this moment?
Absolutely not. This is a really wonderful example, though, of how you could set up the stage to be unhinged, right? Like, you lose your job, you don't know what that financial severance is going to look like. Now somebody's trying to play at you and take your money right now. It's easy to kind of release the Kraken and just kind of let loose. But should you know, and is it justification for that? No, it is not. It is an opportunity to see the plus side of things, which is, okay, losing this job, now you're available for any new job that is in this stratosphere of your life. And mugger, you know, you can prevent the mugging, hopefully, and safely, and then hopefully also get this person apprehended so that they can no longer do this crime and misfeasance to anyone else, and, you know, kind of move on with your life and get excited for the bright horizon ahead of you.
All right. I think it actually would make sense if Yasser became unhinged and just like went on a rampage against criminals, because he just, something bad happened to him, and it's like now someone else is trying to do him more wrong. It's like there's only so much you can take, so this could be a breaking point for him. Okay. And he might go crazy, and, you know, this mugger might not exist anymore.
But you agree it's not a justification for
No, it's not justification. And I'm not saying he should do that, but if the mugger lost his life after this encounter, I would say I understand why. I mean, you shouldn't be, you know, mugging's not a career anyway. I would tell the person, like, don't do, like, you're already doing something risky, right? So, if, you know, these crazy outcomes happen, you can't even be surprised about it. The mugger can't say, well, man, I was just doing my job. No, you weren't. You were doing something illegal. So that's why you end up being maimed or, you know, or losing your life. So don't mug people because you don't know what was happening to the person either way. Absolutely. Besides it being illegal, right?
Absolutely.
It's not worth it. Don't do it. And yes, sir, you probably shouldn't be unhinged in the moment, because it's going to mess up your future job prospects in your life.
Indeed.
If you go really that berserk.
Point. Yeah.
Scenario 2. Ngozi was driving a group of soccer players in a minivan home after a victorious game. A pickup truck just cut her off. Should she give the driver the finger to show him what's good for him?
That's an amazing scenario, because as we know, if you paid attention to the news, there was a recent incident where unfortunately a mother was driving in, I believe, a minivan with her son, gave the middle finger, and then her son, the people she did that to, unfortunately shot at her vehicle. And a bullet ended up killing her son. And as new parents, you know, something like that is so deeply shocking and upsetting, which makes me know that I need to, obviously, could always remain calm in the vehicle, no matter what, with or without my son. And you know, as much as, you know, someone who cuts you off in the driving world, you know, it might seem like you're justified for that. Guys, we're just driving. We're getting from point A to point B. It's not personal, and we need to stop getting so overly emotional where we start to bug out and act crazy. I mean, if someone steps on your foot when you're walking down the street, do you give them the middle finger? Typically not. You say, ow, or what the, you know, hell, or something like that. So, no, don't give the middle finger. You might lose your life, or the lives of those you're traveling with.
Yeah, I think road rage is a really big issue, and people don't understand that it can escalate really fast.
Yeah.
So, like you're saying, driving isn't a personal thing. We're just going somewhere. We're not trying to do harm to you or prove who's the best. It's not a game of who gets there first, who gets in front. Because people feel like, oh, I deserve to be in. No, there's no deserve it in driving. There's just rules of the road so we could try to get places safely. So there's nothing to take personal. Like, I know I used to do that in the past too. It'd be like, oh, you cut me off, so let me show you I could cut you off. But now once I've become mature enough, I understand that we're just driving. It doesn't matter. If someone cuts you off, it doesn't really...
It is what it is.
Doesn't mean anything. And sometimes that's actually part of how you're supposed to drive. When you're doing certain types of merges, it's better for somebody to cut in rather than make a long line of traffic. So it's not about you. It's just about getting places, and let's not do things that can start to escalate the situation. Because you might think, oh, I just gave them the finger. How can they go ahead and, you know, do something even worse? Well, you didn't have to do anything, right? You could have just kept on driving and not take them in. It's like, do you give a finger at a bird that poos on you? You don't. So, like, you just, you know, you keep it moving and clean it up. You clean up the mess and you keep it moving, though. You don't go, where's that bird? I want to show them what was good. You don't do that, right? Absolutely. So why do we do that when we're driving? We're like, we got to show them what's good for them. We don't do it in everyday situations. So yeah, don't do that. It doesn't make sense, because things can escalate, and then you'll regret that action that didn't give you anything. It didn't benefit you at all. It's not like you get paid for it either. it's not. But I understand it's an emotional response.
We just have to be more in control of our emotions.
That's really what it is. And I don't know if like the driving instructors, I don't think they like hone that in enough. They need to tell people like, all right, remember, you're driving. There's nothing personal. It's just getting from point A to B, and we want to do it safely. If somebody does this, do not, like, I don't think I've ever heard that where they say, please don't, you know, scream and yell and cause commotions. And they don't say that, but they should teach that. That should be part of learning how to drive.
Absolutely.
Scenario 3. Suraj worked on the expense reports all night to meet the quarterly deadline and was not able to even go home to have his nightly meal with his family. Does this give him the right to lose his cool and vent his frustration on strangers?
No, because his life is a reflection of what he wants it to be. No one is forcing you to do anything in this life. No one is forcing you to be around anyone in this life. Everything in your life is a choice. If you know that by taking our law of attraction course on Listenable, you would not only agree, but you would be living this truth as your own. And he, unfortunately, is in a toxic work environment that he's allowed himself to be in for however long this has lasted. And his choice to commit to that lifestyle is not justification to impart harm or ill will or destruction towards others. Change your life, make different choices, and stop trying to mess up other people's day, guys. That's where we need to be.
Yeah. I mean, this one almost reminds me of the previous scenario because it's a stranger. But it's even, this one's worse though, because why are you doing this to complete strangers who had no interaction with you? Like, no, if you need to go and vent, maybe you should go to the gym or something or play some video games, right? Yeah. There's other ways to vent. So I mean, if losing your cool on strangers though, that's uncool. You can't do that.
Definitely.
You can lose your cool on a boxing bag because, hey, that's a good workout for you, right?
Run, swim.
You could try to, do some like
even worst
punches.
Case scenario, even eat your feelings, but you are not.
Come on.
I mean,
I don't recommend that.
I don't recommend it, but I'm saying that it's not appropriate to down on other people though. It's never appropriate to do that.
No, especially strangers though. Like
people who are not involved in this at all.
To me, that's insane. So he's in the wrong if he would do anything close to this.
And oh my goodness, look at this. We are at that time again as coming to the end of our 216th episode of Woke and Free. Quite the episode discussing, have you ever become unhinged? Khalil, what do people need to do and know next?
I think they should come back next week for the new Woke and Free Wednesday episode.
Hey.
Then make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for Woke and Free Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on our show, we'll probably be taking more submissions, thinking about that 2022 show planning, guys. Not necessarily for the end of this year, but where can you hit us up? Our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. I shared our social media already. You know where to find us. It's all listed on WokenFree.com, as well as that's the same page, the Contact Us page, to hit us up for sponsorships or collaborations.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do, share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Remember, Woke and Free is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Till next time.